They thought it was their idea, their choice, their insight, but it wasn't. It was yours, planted, shaped, installed. No arguments, no persuasion, just a pause, a question, a subtle redirection. And now, they're saying what you wanted, doing what you planned, believing what you designed. But they think it came from them. That's not coincidence, that's psychological precision. In this video, you'll learn how to install ideas, without resistance, without force, and without leaving fingerprints. No pressure, no confrontation, just control from beneath the surface. Part 1. Why direct persuasion triggers resistance. Most people try to change minds by pushing harder, explaining louder, making their point sound more rational. And every time they do, resistance goes up. The brain has a firewall. The conscious mind is built to defend identity. So when you say, "Here's what you should do," you're thinking about this wrong. Let me tell you the truth. You're not just sharing an idea, you're attacking structure, and that triggers lockdown, defensiveness, emotional rejection, counter-arguments, mental disengagement. You didn't persuade, you provoked protection. Logic doesn't penetrate defense mode. You could be right. You could have all the evidence, all the facts, all the numbers, still doesn't matter. Because once the system flags you as a threat to autonomy, you've already lost access. Their ego isn't listening, it's defending. And in defense mode, no new idea gets in. The stronger the push, the harder the rebound. Ever notice? The more you try to convince them, the more they dig into their original belief. That's not personality. That's psychological recoil, and the only way around it is to stop pushing. To install ideas without resistance, you must go where defense doesn't exist, beneath logic, beneath awareness, beneath ego. That's where real control happens. Part 2. How the mind accepts ideas. The mind doesn't accept what's true. It accepts what feels safe, what feels familiar, what feels like it came from within. That's the gateway, not facts, not logic, internal ownership. The 3 conditions of subconscious acceptance. 1. No threat detected. If the mind feels it's being changed, it shuts down. But if the idea enters without pressure, it passes the firewall. 2. No resistance to autonomy. People don't resist truth. They resist feeling controlled. So if the idea appears as their own, they protect it instead of rejecting it. 3. Familiar pattern recognition. If the idea resembles what they've already felt or seen, even if abstract, it fits. And what fits stays. The mind accepts best when it feels like discovery. Don't tell them what to think. Give them a frame, a question, a story. Let them arrive. The brain releases dopamine when it connects dots on its own. So if you want someone to adopt your perspective, don't say it, design the path to it. Control equals design without ownership. You don't need credit for the idea. You don't even need them to remember you said it. You just need them to feel like they came up with it, act as if it's true, defend it as if it was always theirs, because once they own it, you don't need to reinforce it. They'll do it for you. The deeper the acceptance, The softer the insertion, the mind doesn't like loud. It trusts soft, slow, subtle. A story, a metaphor, a quiet suggestion, a question left unanswered. These are not conversation tools. They're implantation devices. Use them right. And the conscious mind never even realizes you installed something. But days later, they start to speak your idea as if it's always been theirs. That's not influence. That's silent authorship. Part 3. The 3 methods of silent suggestion. You don't say it, you suggest it. No pressure, no debate, just activation. 1. Pattern priming. Don't state the idea, repeat the behavior that carries it. Silence, pause, minimal words, no need to explain. They feel the effect. They adapt. They absorb without knowing why. You didn't teach it. You installed the logic through pattern. 2-story embedding. You don't argue. You tell a story, someone else. Same situation, same lesson. But they relate. They follow, they connect. And the conclusion, it feels like their own. You didn't push belief. You gave them a mirror. 3. Reframing questions. No need to confront, just ask the right question. What makes you so sure? Is that your desire or their expectation? Does that belief still serve you? You're not disagreeing. You're breaking structure. They start doubting. They start searching. And now, your idea is waiting. Summary. Priming equals repeat, don't explain. Story equals embed, don't argue. Questions equals reframe, don't confront. You didn't speak louder, you spoke below the threshold, and when they act, they'll swear it was their idea, but you'll know the truth. It was yours. Part 4. The power of delayed realization. The most dangerous idea isn't the one they notice, it's the one that activates later. Not when you say it, not while they're with you, but when they're alone, thinking, doubting, replaying your words. That didn't feel like persuasion. Silent installs don't explode on contact. They wait, they drift, they settle, they hide under awareness. Then they surface. As thought, not yours, theirs, and that's what makes it powerful. They believe, they came up with it. Your voice becomes their inner monologue. They walk away, they face a situation. Something feels off, and your pattern clicks in. Now they pause. Now they shift behavior. Now they move. According to the structure you left behind, you're not there, but your influence is. Real persuasion doesn't ask for credit. You don't need them to remember what you said. You need them to act as if it came from them, because once the conscious mind takes ownership, you lose control. But if it stays undetected, you guide without resistance. No tension, no pushback, just behavior. This is strategic planting. You speak once, then go silent. The idea lingers. It doesn't demand attention. It grows under the surface. And when it blooms, they obey the suggestion without remembering the source. You don't need applause. You don't need recognition. You don't even need agreement. You need this. They change because something in them shifted, and you were the shift. even if they never know. Part 5. Installing ideas without ownership. The most effective persuasion is the one. They can't trace back to you. You don't want recognition, you want action. And action without resistance requires invisibility. You're not the source. You're the spark. You don't plant the tree, you plant the seed. You don't build the idea, you build the condition where the idea builds itself. And when it finally forms, they defend it, own it, protect it. But they don't know. You were the origin. Ownership equals immunity. Once they say, "This is what I believe. This is what I want. This is what makes sense," you're done, because now they'll do your work for you. No need to reinforce. They'll reinforce it on themselves, with every action, every word, every thought loop, all rooted in what you left behind. No credit, just control. You didn't argue, you didn't push, you didn't demand agreement. You framed, you paused, you stepped back, and now they're standing in the thought. You built. This is the highest level. No proof, no pressure, no memory of insertion, just a shift. That feels like it came from them, but serves you. Final CTA. You didn't debate. You didn't force. You didn't convince. You just planted the idea and walked away. No pressure, no noise, no signature. But days later, they think differently. They speak your logic. They act in your direction. And they never noticed you were the one who wrote the code. That's not influence. That's authorship. And real authors don't beg to be credited. They just shape the system and let others think they built it. This is silent persuasion. No resistance, no defense mode, no trace. Just change on their terms, in your direction.